Hi everybody, guess what? Got another new tent. And I actually paid for this one myself. It's been imported from the States, so it cost me a wee bit in tax. I'll put the total price on screen, but hopefully it's something I've been looking forward to. You might think this is a bit of an unusual one actually, because I kind of criticised the previous version. So it's the TarpTent Arcdome 1 solo 4-season tent. I've gone for the solid inner, just because I do want to use it in the winter and it's probably more suitable for UK conditions. And I've also gone for the thickest diameter DAC poles, which are over 10 mil, I believe, I think 10 and a half, 10.6 maybe. But anyway, yeah, the chunkiest version I could go for. You can get carbon, you can get a thinner DAC set of poles, and you can also go with a mesh inner. This is the solo inner and in solid polyester. And it's coming in at 1.733. There's a flyer in there. There might be some other bits I don't need. Perfect for a 4-season solo tent as far as I'm concerned. Saved a wee bit of weight already. It comes with silicone sealer, I believe, and a little brush, but they've given me two, and one of them was inside that bag, so the tent has already got lighter. Pitching instructions, you can see it there, very simple dome setup. The one I was referring to before was the Arcdome 2, which I had. Much as I liked a lot of it, other bits and pieces really annoyed me about it. So it was a bit of a mixed bag for me, but I'm hoping, having spent my own cash on this, that this will be a good choice. So I don't know if it's pre-assembled or whether I have to attach the inner. Nice kind of, I believe it's a polyester, but with a silicone coating on it, the fly sheet. And it looks like it won't stretch and be very water repellent, which is good. I'll put it on screen, but it looks a bit like the X Pack you get in the KU Stormstar, which is sitting outside right now, actually getting a water test. And by the way, it's absolutely hammering out there. I'm kind of loath to put this up outside. Oh, interesting lime green DAC poles. One chunky pole sleeve, repair sleeve. A bunch of DAC pegs, which are nice and long actually, so probably about, I don't know, 8 inches long or more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. I suspect we'll probably need more. And the good news is the inner is already attached. It all looks nicely made. So far, taped seams, you can see the spectra reinforcement here and there. It has fairly, I don't know what that'd be, 2 or 3 mil. I'll put all the specs on screen. It's more a case of let's get a first impression look at this, see how it feels for size and shape. It also comes with, I think these are, yep, metal buckles at the corners here. And they've still decided to go with the nylon pole ends rather than plastic cups. But hopefully this will be a wee bit easier than the original Arcdome 2. You also get this wee line here, which I think is to tension the front of the tent, which was something that was missing on the Arcdome 2 when I tried it, and I just made my own out of some cord. 10.65 mils, that's what they are. Wow, these are chunky. I think probably the broadest, the biggest diameter poles I've ever had in a tent. So unfortunately, as you can see, absolutely pelting it down and flooded outside, and I've got the brand new KU Stormstar, that's my second one, has just been tested to see if there's any leaks. That actually was really easy to put up. The sleeves are quite tight and a bit sticky, but nothing major. It's just something you've got to allow for and get used to so far. And they've improved the crossover point is now completely sealed. On the original Arcdome 2 there was a kind of gap here, and that was really awkward and time consuming to get through. So now you can feed the poles as one in both directions, which is definitely an improvement. So far I've just put the 4 corners in. I will put in these end ones here, just to give it a wee bit more tension. What I do like though is it doesn't seem to be sagging in this weather, which is way better than sil nylon. I've got 2 more left for the moment, so we'll pop in the door. Double guy arrangement, it's 1 guy to 2 points, as you can probably see here, and then there's a tension adjuster at the bottom. Need to prop this up. I'm not sure this works. I think it goes like so. And there's a little Velcro retainer when you want to put this away and seal down the flap, although it doesn't look like you can. Oh yeah, you can seal the flap here. So just a wee bit of air or snow would get through. I'll do the same on the other side. Seems pretty solid with those diameter poles in it. Let's have a wee look around and we'll jump inside. So there you go, side profile. This is the rear. There's no door on this side for the one man, unlike the Arcdome 2. And then you can see the end here, so it has a kind of pull out in the middle and attaches at the bottom as well. It's the same guy rope, and you'll see it also here. I'll just show you some details of the prop vent arrangement, which seems to be okay. General construction seems better than they used to be on TarpTent. I think these are not made, I'm not sure actually, I need to check. I'm not sure if they're made in the US or made abroad. The guy attachments for the corners are very low on the hoop, so I'm thinking I'll probably want to put additional ones, of which there are a couple of attachment points higher up, but I'll maybe just use carabiners and clip them in as and when I need them. Footprint's quite small, doesn't look too bad actually, so it should fit in smaller areas quite well. It's all reinforced here with whatever that fabric is, and then some Dyneema variations on the corners and on the stress points. So yeah, it's a nice looking tent. It looks very robust, and at 1.7 seems like quite a respectable weight even now for a 4-season. It's going to be interesting to see whether the door will drip onto, this will drip onto the inner. The inner is sculpted in though, and also good to see a wee securing buckle to stop zip creep. I presume this ties back here. Yep, goes through this toggle. So before the camera gets completely soaked, it's a two-way zip, which is good. You can see now that this door opens way back, unlike the original TarpTent Arcdome 2. Just to make you aware, there is a slight bit of dripping here going on to the inner, which I was hoping they would put a lip on this to channel water away like a gutter. But the floor is curved, it's cut away and it flares back out to the full width at the far end behind the camera here, but it comes in 2/3 of the way along. The seam is curved to create more cooking and storage room, but still give you plenty of room for one person. Door now goes all the way back at the bottom. Not quite sure how you tie this back completely. Looks like there's tyres up here. The floor itself is still quite thin. I'll check and I'll put on screen what the hydrostatic head on this is, but you'd probably want to use some form of footprint underneath. Head height, although I've not got my mat in here yet, it's perfectly okay for me at 5'8" plus a mat. Well, without the mat at the moment, we've probably got about 5 or 6 inches head height, and there appears to be a kind of gear loft style pocket up the top, a hanging loop. On this side here you've got a kind of clothing, a sort of slightly larger Big Agnes style mesh pocket, so you can stuff some stuff out the way. Higher up, unfortunately I'm already getting this covered in mud because it's white. There's a two-way zip above here as well, which is brilliant, and a nice chunky YKK zip, and I don't know what size that is, at least number 5 I would think. And that's the back of the prop vent, which is all sealed and taped. And I don't see any leaks as yet, but we'll leave this up in 24 hours and we'll just see what happens. You can see the Spectra reinforcement up the top. Below you here on the actual ground sheet, there's no pockets down here, which I like actually. It just keeps everything out the way and above your head. So let's close this up and we'll just get an idea just how big the vestibule space is and how easy it would be to cook with this curved inner. So hopefully you can see this with the curved inner. It works really well in creating a lot of space. So I can easily get my Sierra Designs 45 to 60 litre pack up that end. My widest point here where I'm sitting is great because I've got much more stove room. There's a permanent vent up here which doesn't actually seal. So that although there's an overlap in the fabric, this part here doesn't actually seal unless you velcro down the prop vent, which kind of freaks me out slightly. I just think it's kind of vulnerable to a lot of wind-driven snow maybe, or possibly beasties. But we'll see how in practical terms how that works. I need to add to the tension line to go from the hoop at either end there because it's already stressing the door a bit too much at the moment. We'll get that on and bring that back into shape. Right, okay, door closed. Yeah, feels nice and roomy so far. The vents
That should be quite effective because you've got two prop vents either side up the top here, so there should be a good throughput of air just across the top, but it's the only mesh part that is open. It's a very minor part of it, so not too concerned about keeping the heat in here. That should work all right. This curved inner is very unusual, I have to say, but despite it coming in at its narrowest point, I believe it will still take one of the widest mats without any issue. And lengthwise, I have got about a foot below my feet and I would say a foot above my head. So I do not have any issues with the interior size of it, and I think probably if you're up to about 6 foot, 6'3", you should be okay. But you can actually, because of the way this lies, you can actually kind of turn diagonally and use this big corner space up here as well. It's really kind of simple. I'm sure Henry Shires won't mind me saying it, but it still has the odd bit here, like these little tie backs and things that still look a wee bit homespun. But from a quality point of view, I don't see any major flaws. The stitching all looks good, and as I say, we'll see if this leaks. I think white interior is going to mark up, as is the white fly sheet. It would have been nice to see this in a green, especially for stealth use. I think green would make it, a green fly sheet certainly, will probably sell a lot more long term. A hanging hook here in the middle, but you've also got a little hook here, and you've got loops here to create some hanging lines. They don't come with it. You might be able to use the hoop line as a hanging line and just swap around, but for the weight of this thing, I think it's well worth probably just modifying it with a few extra bits that you might need. You might go for some extra guy lines outside as well, just for additional strength, but I've no idea how it will be in the wind until we try it. Designed in America, made in China. So just to show you this unusual inner shape, so right out to the full width at the ends, same again here, and then look at the curve that's cut into the door and into the inner. So it becomes genuinely a one person here, but with more room to store, pack, or maybe just some extra odds and sods for the night. And the same again down here. But you can then see how that curve creates a really useful vestibule space. So there you go everybody, a very rushed first impression of the TarpTent Arcdome 1. Yeah, it's pretty much what I expected, and it's great to see that TarpTent have ironed out a lot of the issues that I felt was in the Arcdome 2. So I'm pleased with that, and we'll not know till we get out and try this. So this weekend hopefully will be the first test night. Try and head up a hill somewhere, get a bit of wind, get a bit of rain. I'd love to get a bit of snow, but it's way too mild at the moment. We'll leave this up for 24 hours, just check and see if there are any leaks. But it's all taped, and the polyester fly seems to be tight. So if you've got any questions, drop me a line. I'll try and answer them as best I can. But I'll know a lot more about how I feel about it once I actually get out and use it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.